Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined for the first time this year by Mr. Dev Sahni here at one of the big fights. We're ready a week early, Dev. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Rejuvenated. It's the Queensberry's first fight week of the year coming up next week. We're doing the workout a bit early. And yeah, look, it's all about Hamzah Sheeraz, isn't it? I mean, is he really that guy? 18-0, 14 knockouts, knocking everyone out. Frank's golden boy coming through. Is he really that guy? Do we believe the hype? I don't know. We're going to find out. Liam Williams is going to be asking him a lot of questions next Saturday, and I can't wait to find out if Hamzah's the real deal or not.
This was obviously in the book for a few months back, but glad we're finally kicking off 2024 with this one. How much of a challenge is this for Hamzah Sheeraz? Because Liam Williams has fought right at that top level.
Yeah, look, and Liam Williams isn't some little old man with a walking stick, or he's just been sat on a couch coming out of a pub or anything like that. He's been in camp. He's been training. He also had a fight. He had a little run out at York Hall, which Queensberry facilitated. Was it a good idea or not? I don't know, but he looked $1 million and he knocked his guy out in the first round. Sure, the guy wasn't up to much, but it can't do any harm to Liam Williams' confidence. So he's not an old man. He's coming off a knockout win. He's training like an absolute animal. He's back with Gary Lockett, which is where it all started, where that dream all began. And he believes he can beat Hamzah Sheeraz. We'll find out. Hamzah Sheeraz is the guy that Liam Williams was. He's got the WBC silver belt, like Liam Williams had. Young Boxer of the Year, like Liam Williams was. Frank's golden boy at middleweight, like Liam Williams was. Let's see.
I think undoubtedly if he was to beat Liam Williams, it would be a career best win for Hamzah Sheeraz, but what sort of doors could it open? Because in the division there's plenty of names. Kush Eubank Jr. is the obvious name to mention, but there's lots of doors that could be opened, and he could be creeping a lot closer to that world title.
Well, look, that's why you fight someone like Liam Williams. He's only been stopped once on a cut to Liam Smith. It wasn't really a proper stoppage, right? He's been in there with Eubank. Eubank had him over, but didn't knock him out. And actually, he was coming on strong in the second half of that fight, was Liam Williams. He's been in there with Demetrius Andrade, had some good moments in that fight as well, and that was a Demetrius Andrade in his pomp, who nobody wanted to fight. So he's had some very good moments. Hamzah Sheeraz, I think he's number 4-ish with the WBC, so he's creeping closer to becoming a mandatory challenger. I'm not sure what's going on with those titles at the top. You've got Jamal Charlo, who's the champion, who seems to be clinging on to that belt no matter what. Carlos Adames is up there as well. I think he's interim. So let's see. I mean, Hamzah Sheeraz is very young, but a good win. And in particular, if he knocks out Liam Williams, who Eubank couldn't, who Andrade couldn't, it says an awful lot.
It's a strong start to the year from Queensberry. Not just this show, we've also announced the next Magnificent 7 show. We saw the return of it last year. Looks like it might be becoming a yearly thing. What do you make?
Every other show is basically going to be magnificent. I think Frank intimated as such, saying, yeah, we're going to be doing loads of these this year. So get ready for the Magnificent 7 ride again, and again, and again, and again. But it's a good concept. It seems to work. Frank loves it. Frank did it years and years ago. James DeGale and all those boys. And, you know, it was brilliant last time out in November. Nick Ball, Nathan Heaney, that moment against Bentley. Nathan Heaney's back on this show as well. So, I'm looking forward to that one.
One of the heavyweight fights on that card, Sol Dakers against maybe David Adelaide. Not fully announced yet because we know he's got the hearing following what happened in the aftermath of the fight with Fabio Wardley. Are we expecting it to be David Adelaide still?
I don't know. It's one for Frank. But yeah, I hope so. I would hope to see that fight. It's two brilliant British heavyweights. So, but if you're asking for news, I have none, unfortunately.
In terms of the Eddie Hearn versus Frank Warren Queensberry Matchroom show, it's terrific to see that things are now working together. How much of a change of culture is that? Does it feel a bit strange?
Yeah, it does a bit. For me anyway, just like for so long it's been like it'd be Matchroom v Queensberry kind of thing, and they'd be the nemesis of each other. They'd be competing, sometimes to the detriment of the sport, because maybe fights wouldn't get made, but hey, at least you've kept hold of your guy or whatever. You're not putting your fighter in with someone who might beat him. But now, thanks to His Excellency, thanks to Saudi Arabia, thanks to Riyadh season, this magical thing is happening where these promoters are coming together. Is it surreal? Yeah, it is. It's surreal. Like, I've done some of the presses for this. It's been surreal, sat in the middle with Eddie Hearn on one side and Frank Warren on the other, seeing them shake hands, seeing them go for dinner. And yeah, you have to, hey, everyone's being nice, it's all kumbaya. Hopefully it lasts.
You invited to those dinners?
No, I'm sort of have my own dinners anyway, so yeah, and they weren't invited to mine, so.
There are a couple of fights that are potentially could be on those cards. I'd just like to get your thoughts on whether how you think they would go, whether you think they're possibly makeable. We've seen the rise of Moses Atalma over the last year or two. We've also seen the rise of someone like Johnny Fisher over at Matchroom. They seem at sort of similar stages of their career, similar ambitions. Do you think that's something that would be attractive for both the fighters?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a lovely idea. How many fights has Fisher had now?
A few more than Moses, that's for sure.
More, hasn't he? So I don't know. I think Fisher's the Southern Area champion, isn't he? Moses seems to be. I feel like Moses is going to get there very quickly. Is Johnny Fisher on his route to getting where he needs to get? I don't know, but it's a great fight.
One man that's going to be here today, we believe, Anthony Yarde. A name that's been mentioned with him time and time again is Callum Smith, who we saw unfortunately lose out to Arda Peterviev a few weeks ago out in Canada. Now that would be the sort of fight that would really propel Anthony Yarde back into that world title contention, and that's something that he needs to do if he wants to get a hand on that world title.
I think, honestly here, I think with or without a win over Callum Smith, he's in that frame anyway. I think he is, after seeing Beterbiev against Callum Smith, then watch Anthony Yarde against Beterbiev, and you can compare, and you could see how much better Anthony Yarde did against Beterbiev. That's not really up for debate. That's not really me being a company man saying, oh, because he's he's our guy. He just did do better. He gave him much more trouble than Callum Smith did. I think that was the question around whether or not Anthony Yarde is the number one light heavyweight in the country. Is Callum Smith secretly better because of what he did at super middleweight, because of his knockouts at light heavyweight? Is he going to be better? But he's not. Anthony Yarde's the man. So that fight between them would be great. I'd love to see it. I'd also love to see Yarde in against the winner of Buatsi against Aziz. And Buatsi in particular is a fight that it's been bubbling, hasn't it? That's been around for years. So Anthony Yarde against anyone really is a fight that people want to watch.
Final bit of Queensberry business, Mr. Tyson Fury. We saw the Behind the Gloves face-off episode with Oleksandr Usyk come out the other day. He made a couple of remarks, one being that the only time he needs in camp is around 5 weeks. Is that realistic, do you think, going into what could be the biggest fight of his career?
I don't know. I know that he's training very, very, very hard for this. That's all the noises that I'm hearing, because, as you can see, he's not doing a lot. That thing that got leaked out, the Fury Usyk face-off with Steve Bunce, that was shot on the press conference day. So it's not like they've been brought together to do something. There's not much going out from Fury at all on social media right now. You're not seeing many interviews. He's hard at work. He's locked himself away, and I think we're going to see an absolute beast February 17th.
Do you think he needs to take this as his hardest fight of his career, and he needs that full focus that maybe we didn't see against Ngannou?
Oh, look, I think he appreciates the challenge that Oleksandr Usyk is. I think he appreciates the gravity of the event, and there's not people around him saying, oh, this is easy work, or he's not reading newspaper clippings sort of downplaying the credentials of his opponent like he would with Francis Ngannou if he was listening to any of that. So I think it's impossible to take your eye off the ball. It would have been much easier to take your eye off the ball with Francis Ngannou, even though he says he didn't. But if you've got a guy there that everyone's saying rubbish and can't land a punch on you, something's got to go in somewhere, right? But it will be full focus for Oleksandr Usyk, and I really can't wait to see this Tyson Fury.
That fight's fast approaching. Can we get an official Dev Sahni prediction for that one?
Ask me after the fight. I mean, look, I'm in the stage now where I'm trying not to. It's bad news for you. I'm trying not to give too many predictions, because they can come back and haunt me. So I say now, Tyson Fury is going to do X, Y, Z to Oleksandr Usyk, and then I'm sat in front of Oleksandr Usyk interviewing him. He might think, he won't because he doesn't care, but he might think, this is the guy that said I was going to get filled in. Let me fill him in, and I don't want to get filled in. All right.
Final one for you on Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. That fight now is even bigger than it would have been made 6 months ago. We saw what Ngannou did to Tyson Fury. That's a big fight now for Anthony Joshua.
Tyson's sort of done Anthony Joshua a favour there, right? He's tested the water. He's figured out how hot it was. It was quite hot at certain times. Now Anthony Joshua has an idea what that water is like, and it can be quite hot. So, it'll be interesting to see what he's like in there against Francis Ngannou, knowing that he has 10 rounds of tape. He knows Ngannou can bang. He knows Ngannou can actually box. He knows Ngannou can switch southpaw. A lot of these things were completely unknown to Tyson Fury. So, I don't know how that fight's going to go. I genuinely don't. And let's see. It's a big fight though. Big night.
Everybody seems to be pulling in the right direction now for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Is there a worry that if Ngannou gets the job done against Joshua, we could have just one more barrier in the way?
Well, look, if Ngannou gets the job done against Joshua, then Fury and Ngannou too. Should Fury come through, Usyk becomes a monster as well. Fury and Ngannou too, right now, is a monster because people see it as a bit of unfinished business. You add in Francis Ngannou gaining the scalp of Anthony Joshua remarkably, it turns into a huge fight. But all I know is that this heavyweight division right now is absolutely thriving. There's so many different permutations of fights that you can have, which would be box office.
Cheers for your time, Dev. Believe the hype, mate.
Believe the hype. By the way, do try this. I mean, cheesecake flavour. It's the best energy drink I've ever had in my whole life. Have you had a go on this yet? I'll give you a can.
Thank you very much, Dev.